Howdy!
What's up?
Today on Desk Pop, we're talking about the cultural phenomenon of the Tiger King and why I hate it. The Kentucky Turtle Derby and our racehorse Sonas, Twilight movies, problematic people, and Adult Swim as well. This is a more conversational episode, so if you want some company, you want to come hang out with us for a little while, and yeah,
You want to sit at our table with us, you know? Bring your lunch.
I'm Brian.
I'm Andy.
Oh, hello, Andy. Howdy.
Hello. How's it? How's it? How is it?
It's good. It's good. I see that you have a new pair of specs.
Yeah, it was a targeted Instagram ad for an $11 pair of glasses, and they were prescription. So I was like, oh, I'm losing money if I don't get these. They look neat in the picture. They came in, and I feel like they're way too big. But since I spent money on them, I'm going to wear them and add them to my glasses rotation. So I now have 3 pairs of glasses.
Wonderful. I too have received the same targeted ad for those same glasses.
Yeah, well now you know what you're in store for. I got the edition where they turn into sunglasses when you're outside. The problem is we're in quarantine, so the only time I go outside is whenever I'm doing curbside delivery, or I guess quarantine just lifted, but I mean we gotta. I'm still staying inside.
I'll be in here for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in here till at least November.
Probably. Yeah.
But I was thinking, oh well, maybe they'll turn into sunglasses when I'm in my car on like a sunny day, and they do not. I'll need to be in direct sunlight.
You'll have to look up at the sun, probably.
Yeah, I'll have to wait for the next eclipse so I can
you
look
can look
directly
straight
up.
into it.
Yeah, get free LASIK. But anyways, yeah. How have you been? What have you been up to?
I am
my dear friend and co-host Brian.
We're friends. Wow.
Yeah, this is the new canon.
That's the first time you ever said it. No, I don't. I'm good.
I use the F word. We got to go to like each corner of the playground and like tell our respective friend groups, like we're friends now. The beef between Brian and Andy is over.
The beef will never be over, even if we are friends. But yeah, no, I've been today, because that's kind of where I'm at, is like I can think about what I've done in a day, but if you ask me to think about what I've done like
in life,
the longer you ask me to go back in this quarantine period, the less I can remember of what I've done. So today I found out about the Kentucky Turtle Derby. I know that the Met Gala was supposed to happen today, and I have been watching the first season. I've pretty much almost finished the first season of True Blood, which is something that I've wanted to see for a long time. My high school friends were very into it, and I, in true Brian fashion, did not watch the popular show when it was popular. I just can't do it. Maybe one day I'll see Game of Thrones. Maybe one day I'll see Breaking Bad. I just can't. When something is so like it perforates, it just is in every layer of popular culture. Not to say True Blood was like this large of a show, but just anytime something is like has a fandom that large, it's very hard for me to get into it for whatever reason. Even if I want to, I physically I can't get myself interested or invested. So, breaking down boundaries.
Yeah, so your update, I will say, if I can compare it to anything, it's like that scene from Aladdin where they go in to that treasure trove and they can't touch anything but the lamp. There are like 3 or 4 things, and I'm like, oh, I really want to talk about some, but I know what will lead where it leads, so I can't. But I will say, the I guess 2 points that I will latch onto in that is the Met Gala, something that I never cared for before until I think last year. You talked about it a little bit, and I learned what it was, because I always knew like I had a very a vague idea of what it was, but anywho, we get to do that thing now where instead of doing the thing, we talk about what we were going to do and hope for the same reaction and effect that would go with us actually doing it.
Well, I think it's postponed right now. So
Sure.
I interpret that meaning that it eventually still will happen for 2020 in some fashion. I know they did kind of a digital thing today, but I don't know. I imagine that some form of Met Gala will still take place this year. So we will still be able to do what we plan on doing.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, then I guess I'll stop there, and that will just act as a light tease. There's a special thing coming, but the second thing is, so you mentioned True Blood. I've never watched it. I don't know anything about it, but before we started recording, you mentioned werewolves. I thought True Blood was a cop show, like a police drama.
No.
So what is True Blood?
So, okay. So that makes sense now, because when I asked you earlier today, or when we talked about a little earlier today, you said something about Twilight, and I said, oh, I've been watching True Blood today. It's a vampire thing. Like it's not vampire. I'm learning about it the more I'm watching it. Thing. It's just vampire things. Just vampire. It is. So the main character is. I go into like the whole summary of True Blood. It's a vampire show, and there's like other supernatural things I haven't gotten to the part yet where I know more supernatural things will be. But right now it's a vampire thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I responded that. I didn't just respond like with a cop show to you talking about Twilight earlier.
Yeah, because I initially read it as like it being like a sarcastic, like, because you know what, I'm just gonna drop it because this is my excuse to give my update, and I'd rather talk about that than
hey Andy, what's going on here in your world?
So I got these new glasses.
Oh, wow.
It's like one. My hair's still growing back. My hair's coming back.
Yeah, you look like
come back.
Sid from Toy Story.
I wish it would grow back faster. I'm ready to have hair again. I'm sick of this. I'm over it. Thank you, next. In
the great words of Ariana Grande.
Yes. And I watched Gone Girl last night, and using my new rating system, it has ascended the ranks, and it is now my number 1 favorite movie so far of 2020.
When you like think of, but that's just the movie you watched this year. So it came out previously.
It came out in 2014. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then, when you think objectively, like not thinking about your score, is it your favorite movie this year? Or it just happens to hit everything?
Out of every movie I've seen this year, I can definitively say both objectively and subjectively, like it is just, or I guess you can't object. It's an opinion.
Yeah.
But I honestly think that is the best movie I've seen this year, and is also my favorite movie I've seen this year.
Okay, interesting. I just wanted to know if those two met up anywhere.
Yeah, if I ever like use my like system or whatever, and it ends up with a result that I feel very strongly against, and I know that is like confirmation bias, but I'm like, that can't be right. Like, how is this lower than this? Like, I need to mess with the formula or whatever. But I'm noticing a pattern of like a lot of the movies on my top 5, and I won't get into like the names because I'll have to pull up the list and all that. But a lot of my favorite movies are from 2014. That was just a good year for movies.
It's a great year.
Like the 2 ones that I can think of is Grand Budapest Hotel and Gone Girl, and I love those movies.
Aged to perfection.
Yeah, 24. That is the peak of pop culture. It's 2014. But I've been recently rewatching the Twilight films, and I've jumped down that rabbit hole. Coincidentally, they announced the release date for the prequel novel to the series from the perspective of Edward. So I gotta get super into it. I need to form opinions on this franchise, and I need to read this book. I also discovered there's a graphic novel series illustrated by a popular manga artist. I don't remember her name, but I'm planning on buying those, so I'm obsessing over Twilight right now.
Interesting.
And that's about it. I think that's everything I can think of, the main bullet points of what I've been up to.
Yeah. That's good.
So, yeah.
Twilight, I feel like there was something I wanted to say about Twilight.
Yeah, so you mentioned not, when things are super popular, you don't really get into it.
So that one,
did that start at a young age? Like, had you always been that? Did you miss the Twilight craze when that happened, or? I
did not always used to be this way. And I almost feel like the Twilight craze I didn't see that as much in my life as I see other fandoms, which is interesting. Because I'm a couple years older than you. So by the time Twilight,
so definitely.
What?
That was definitely like a middle school, like a 6th grade, a middle school type thing.
Yeah. So I was in high school when that was like a big thing. And I had one friend who was reading the books. And so I think I read the first one, or I didn't read all of them for sure, but I might have read the first one. And it was fine. I didn't hate it. And I did end up watching all those movies, but I didn't see them as like, I think that what it is when someone, and I'm kind of here with Tiger King right now too, which I know I mentioned to you before we started recording.
And you haven't seen that either, correct?
I did see that. I saw that. I saw that like in the perfect window. We saw it
before it erupted. Yeah.
In the perfect window. So I was like, okay, well, this is interesting. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And now I see memes about it every day. And I'm like, man, I really wish I didn't know what this was. Like, maybe that would not. I get that it's like a whole thing. And it's like when a meme is shared between like collectively of everyone in society, it is not funny to me. Like it's almost like there are still people who are discovering it, and like so they are like, oh, I'm gonna jump on it and like say something funny now too. And it's like, hey girl, the window for this is rapidly closing. It is not getting funnier. You're like, I'm such an asshole. You're like reaching at like trying to make something funny, or like just because you discovered it 2 days ago, like it's old news. It's old news, mom. It's old news.
Like, just keep up. We're off that now. We're on to something else.
Like, yeah, and like I know it kind of goes against my like what I kind of normally preach, where I'm like, let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. Like,
no, I think it aligns pretty well, because
you think so?
You've been pretty vocal with like, if something's super popular, it turns you off of it. So of course you're going to be pro, like,
sure,
when something super popular happens, everyone needs to watch it, observe it, appreciate it, move on, because the people who stick on that turns into this toxic thing that you avoid. Well, everyone trying to recommend it and making memes and stuff.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So I think how it works, it's a cycle. I do think that like it's not the same people who are still stuck on it, which is the hard part, because you can't just like there's nothing I can do. You know what I mean? There's nothing I can do to, unless I like, you know, just totally shut off the internet and like did not look on it, you know, to see these memes and these Tiger King things. But it's new people who are, after all this, like, oh, maybe I should watch that show, and then they get into it and they're like, oh wow, that's crazy, let me make a joke, or let me repost this or whatever. And so it's like, it is a shared experience, so like people gravitate towards that. And I think I maybe like tend to shy away from those things, which is interesting. I'm learning about myself right now, because it's not that I hate something when it's popular, it's just when it becomes such a like cultural touchstone that everyone has their hand in the pot, it's like, that's just not for me. I just, you know, I have other things that I want to look at or watch or whatever. But when it's something that I'm like, oh, this is maybe new and interesting, like I gravitate to it and I want to see it and whatever. But I don't know.
I have like this like like I saw Tiger King as well before it erupted. Like Christos, who I think was a guest on 2 episodes of Desk Pop.
I think so. At least one.
Yeah. He was like, hey, I'm about to watch this crazy documentary. Do you want to watch it? And we watched it together in the Discord. And it was this crazy ride. It was interesting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like reading about what happened after the documentary and stuff.
Yeah, because they are characters.
And then it took off.
Yeah.
And then once everybody and people are still like, you know, you go on any piece of social media, people are still talking about it and stuff. And now I'm like prone to not want, and here we are talking about it, not wanting to talk about it, because I'm like, so many people are talking about it already. What do I have to contribute to any of this? It's like seeing like a funny YouTube video. Like, yeah, it's pretty good, but like, you know what?
It tends to become very
moving on,
performative. Like you're showing other people that you are also in the know about this thing. So like, oh, like let me be part of the joke or part of the thing. And like, I'm so sick of seeing it. Like,
it's interesting. There's like a very fine line, and also it all goes to personal preference, I guess, because like here, like I said that, but I also like have no problem jumping on the Marvel bandwagon anytime a new movie comes out.
So that one's different for me. That one's interesting because I think because I have never left that sort of fandom. Like I've always enjoyed those movies, not to the degree I think you do, but I've always, like, since they've been coming out, I've been going to the theater to see them. So because I've never left that bubble, I think I'm fine with that still. I don't know.
Interesting. So what, just a quick aside, what bubble are you in? Please like, share.
What,
I was talking to the.
Oh, I was like,
I turned my head. I'm facing the audience here.
Okay,
what
please
are you in?
Comment your favorite fandom for us to bitch about later.
Yeah, the more popular it is, the more we'll lay into it. Yeah.
No, I do fully 100%, and I'll say it again. Like what you want to like.
That's your campaign slogan. Like what you like.
Like what you like.
His favorite thing about that thing is that you like it. That's his favorite thing.
I like that people are individuals and people have different interests, and I like that people.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you. You can like whatever you want to like, and it is not my job to police that or gatekeep that, and you can like whatever you want to like. However, I'm saying for me, I'm sick of the Tiger King.
I'm sick of the Tiger King. We're a Lion King podcast. We talk about all things Lion King, Lion Guard, Timon and Pumbaa, Lion King 1.5, live action Lion King, and possible sequel. And that's it.
That's it. We talk about nothing else.
Yeah. We talk about Lion King, and we talk about Zoe 101. Those are the two things. They're so closely related in ways that you'll never piece together unless you listen to this podcast.
You said earlier when you're pretend talking to the audience, but I thought you were talking to me. Then I started thinking about, okay, what fandom am I a part of? Like, I guess Marvel, I guess definitely Pokemon. I don't know. I guess most Nintendo things.
Yeah, I'm definitely like I wouldn't attribute myself like into like the Pokemon bubble. I'm more of a fan of the overall Nintendo bubble.
I am far more invested in Pokemon, but I am in the Nintendo space as well.
Yeah, like Nintendo, like something about the way that they make their games like visually and different gameplay wise from their other games is interesting to me, and I really like that. The Mario and Zelda series are like, yes, they're just so like they're so nostalgic. There's certain things that like I will acknowledge that nostalgia plays a big role in it, and the Mario and Zelda franchises are like very heavily nostalgia based. So like, you know, I'm on board no matter what as far as those two things go.
I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of both of those things, but both of those last games made me really circle back in those things. Like I'm like, oh, Mario Odyssey, great. And then Breath of the Wild, great. Like those are both super fun, super great games. But like, I wouldn't say I'm like a Mario fan, you know?
I'm like, because I'm kind of like sorting things out like on the spot right now of like my ride or die franchises of like I'm on board no matter what. Like they can have like 5 massive flubs and I will still like mindlessly consume whatever they throw at me, and it's like Zelda, Mario, and Marvel.
Those I think I'm a Scooby-Doo person.
Have you watched the recent live action movies that the direct-to-TV?
Yeah, I've seen some of those. I've seen the I recently I've been making Aaron watch when I'm over there sometimes the most recent cartoon, which is Mystery Incorporated, I think. It's so funny. There's so many jokes in there that are like adult humor. It's really, really good. I am sad that there only are 2 seasons of it because it's really good.
Is that the one with a drastically different art style?
Yes, there is a like dramatically different art style.
Because I think that I think the last one I watched is Be Cool Scooby-Doo. Which has like this really weird art style, but it is so fucking funny. I love that. I'm not aware of like if there was a series after that.
Yeah,
but that one.
Look up. I would say this one's okay. This is not the most recent one. I think Be Cool might be the most recent one. This is from 2010.
Oh yeah, because they added a lot of lore. They had an overarching story to that.
I haven't actually finished. I just watched an episode where they had the Hex Girls in it, which was really cool. So it's like if you're a fan of like other Scooby-Doo stuff, it's like they play the like main 2 Hex Girl songs, and then Daphne becomes part of the band somehow, and then like she just walks on and she's suddenly their lead singer. It's interesting, and then there's another
I never
layer.
watched that one, but it always seemed it's hard for me to like get on board with things
really?
Once they've been like rebooted. Like there's like a new run of Scooby-Doo, so I'm like, okay, well I can't watch this other one because like you know it reaches a conclusion, and then I'm just like, what, you know? It just starts over again. It's like the universe imploding and then starting
Scooby-Doo
again.
things. They're just like, I like mysteries. I like friendship. I like just
which was coincidentally the when we were throwing out names for what we should call this podcast, mysteries and friendship was
mysteries and friendship
was really close.
Hello,
Deskpop.
This is mystery and I'm friendship. How's it going? Yeah,
I'm the mysterious one.
You're mystery.
Have a cape.
I was gonna say the other way around, but I was like, no, I'm definitely friendship.
Yeah, but yeah, Marvel or not Marvel like comics. Like the comics are neat and all, but the MCU, I should say, MCU, Mario, Zelda. Those are like the 3 fandoms that like I jump into. Everything else, I'm kind of a casual fan of, and new entries in whatever the series, whatever they are, can make or break it for me. Like Pokemon, like the latest one, and this is kind of like when we kind of split. Is
we always have opposite feelings, so I don't think this is where we split.
Well, I mean, as far as like, because like I think we both like Pokemon,
Yeah.
but I think like we both took different ends of the spectrum. Where I feel like you really liked this one,
Hmm.
and I like this one was the one that I was like, okay, like Sun and Moon did. I wasn't about it. I kind of took a step aside, waited for a bit, and then this came out, and I was like, I think I'm taking another like several generations worth of a break, but we'll
Wow.
see when the DLC.
Yeah, no,
But
I'm so pumped.
I'm not
Just them announcing DLC. The thing that I'm mad about, I think they had a PR misstep. I feel like they should have been more vocal that they
definitely.
either were considering doing DLC or like I know DLC is kind of a dirty word. People don't like it, but I think Nintendo a lot of times does it well. I don't think they just do things. They're not as profit driven by DLC as say like EA is, you know. Like there are other places that are far worse, and it's one of those things like the amount of work that goes into video games and the fact that the price tag on games really hasn't gone up very much, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. Like, yeah, they got to make money somehow, another way. So by selling DLC, as long as it's not gating your main game experience, I think it's always a positive thing.
They could have put out a lot of fires by talking about that beforehand, but yeah, I
Even just
agree.
mentioning that it was a possibility, I think would have sated my, if you listen to previous episodes where I'm really upset about it.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like for someone going back and listening to those because we were so critical of it.
It's interesting because we'll
Then and
always
then
have those, like, even if no one ever listens to those, we'll always have those like time capsules of like how we felt during those moments, which is cool.
personally, like maybe my mentality will change in the future, but each episode has an expiration date for me. Like once a certain amount of time passes, like I cannot listen to me talk several months ago
Oh
because
yeah.
I'm gonna cringe at everything I say.
I
And
used to listen to the episodes we recorded the next day, like when they
yeah,
got
I could
posted.
do that because it's
I
pretty
can't do
recent,
that
but
anymore. It is too much of us talking to me. I can't deal with it.
yeah, if we just had a podcast where we talked less,
We just didn't talk.
just live in the moment. So taken in the moment. But yeah, those are like every like fan base I'm a part of other than like those three pillars. Things can make or break the experience for me. Like Harry Potter might be on the border. Like I really enjoy those movies, and
That one's an
Fantastic
interesting
Beasts
one, yeah.
have definitely tested my faith in Harry Potter, but I'm
Yeah.
on board and I'm all about it still. And J.K. Rowling is really trying acting as this mechanical bull trying to throw me off, and I'm like,
that is my
don't ruin
favorite
this.
part of Harry Potter right now.
Don't ruin this for me, J.K. Rowling.
It is so good to just watch her just unravel. Like
She's trying. She's like
she's like anti-trans and like all this stuff. I'm like, oh, also there's this meme that I keep seeing that I saw today, which is reminding me, and it's like Josh Whedon, RuPaul, and J.K. Rowling, and they're like there's three fists, like fist bumping, and their hands are labeled, and in the middle it's like being progressive enough in the 90s but never changing after that. Like, yep.
Oh, yeah.
RuPaul like still won't let like trans like drag queens on his show, which is like if you're into drag culture, like you know that a lot of drag queens are trans, so it's kind of one of those things like it's not good. You need to evolve there. And
what's the reasoning there? Is that just like I coincidentally am not doing that, or is it like have they come out and said definitively that they are not?
It's just RuPaul. So like that's my understanding. It's like the broader community of drag is fully supportive of like, no, we want everyone featured. It's RuPaul's show, and so RuPaul has come out making statements saying like there have been trans people on the show that have been to what RuPaul classifies as not fully transitioned, which is like kind of also problematic, but yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically meaning they haven't had like full like reassignment surgery. That's how RuPaul classifies that. But basically saying that these queens are like, I think the thing is, RuPaul's Drag Race has become a mainstream thing. I guess that's a thing I'm a fan of. That's one of the things I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I was about to say, because
I don't think about it.
collectively, when everyone's experiencing that together, and
that
we've
is
been in
also
situations
something
together where you
yeah.
have crowded with people to watch episodes as they aired.
That's something I got started in before it was popular as well, when I was in high school, and then I've always kept with it. But I think RuPaul, the thought process is, okay, it's on a mainstream TV network. It's becoming it has become a mainstream show. More people than just gay people watch the show. I think the thought is it would be too mind bending for the general like straight like families watching at home for them to wrap their brain around someone who's not a man going like, not starting as a man, ending as a woman in drag, if that makes sense. Like, that's the traditional drag queen, like
Dragception.
yeah. And so like when you're starting as a woman already and you're becoming like a hyper version of a woman, which is what a lot of drag performers do. A lot of them are women already and become like these like hyper characters of women. I think the thought is maybe straight people at home won't understand that or won't get that. I don't know. It's shitty. But JK Rowling sucks too.
Yeah, I don't know what Joss Whedon did. I know that I think there was like there were allegations against him. He was in charge of, I think, writing and directing the Batgirl movie, and then that became problematic because some controversy happened with him, and then he dropped out of the project, and then eventually he like didn't even get the writing credit on that project. I don't know like what happened with Joss Whedon.
So I googled the words Josh. I can't say his name.
Joss.
Okay, Google is lighting up. Joss Whedon problematic. Oh. I googled those 3 words, and my Google Assistant's going off in the back. So the articles I'm seeing is 5 times Joss Whedon, self-proclaimed woke bae, blew his feminist credentials. Joss Whedon is a hypocrite. I can't read today. Is a hypocrite preaching feminist ideals. Ex-wife Kai Cole says. So it sounds like he's not. He has feminist ideals, but maybe isn't the best.
I know when he was in charge of like Avengers, he put like they put Black Widow in like the tightest fucking uniform you could possibly imagine.
Yeah, but that's also like I maybe would defend that, thinking like from what I've seen in like comic books of her character, that's also kind of the same, right?
I mean that's fair, but I think comics for a long time have had like a trend of hyper, like I think
there is always like, a hypersexualization of women. Yeah,
and I think it's slowly getting better, but it sucks like making movies inspired by comics, especially in like the late 90s, early 2000s. It's fucking, there's so many like reading like Supergirl and Wonder Woman comics in the early 2000s was just, like, it's insane.
There has to be something else, because like for something like that, that's the only thing I can think of. I would just feel like the problem starts at an earlier point than him. You know what I mean? So I feel like there has to be something else that he's done. I don't know. We'll have to read about it later.
I don't know a lot about Joss Whedon. I know he did Dollhouse, which I loved.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I think he did Cabin in the Woods.
Did he do Cabin in the Woods?
I thought so.
I won't make you look that up.
But I'm going to.
Okay. I was just being polite. I knew you were gonna.
I know you were.
Yeah.
I know you straights always expecting your gay slaves to. Okay, so yeah, he did Cabin in the Woods. He did. Here's his filmography. I'll read Joss Whedon's filmography. He did Serenity.
That needs to be in the episode title.
Josh Whedon's filmography. He did The Avengers, Age of Ultron, Justice League, Cabin in the Woods, Much Ado About Justice Nothing, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie, Toy Story, Speed, Alien Resurrection. He did Toy Story, 1995.
He wasn't the director. He was a screenwriter, right? Maybe. It doesn't say.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say his credit.
Okay.
These are just movies he has been a part of.
Okay.
And Titan AE. There's a lot more, but interesting.
Yeah, if we actually read the whole thing, it probably.
Oh well.
I would stop you every fifth one and be like, "Really?"
Let's look up his credit. That's this whole episode. It just evolves into us like looking over Joss Whedon's filmography.
Welcome to the Joss Whedon podcast. Let's see if we can get someone on the line who knows him personally.
We are sympathizers with whatever he did wrong.
We have like a flag behind us of like Joss Whedon's face with like some weird shady symbols that symbolize some weird like Joss Whedon cult. Say some special prayer at the end of each episode. I'm taking this to a different place, so I'll go ahead and stop. I think I've painted a sufficient image.
Yeah, the picture is reality. Clear. It's coming in clear to me. So Andy, one very unproblematic thing. Maybe it's not.
Debatable.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it is problematic.
Everything could be. It's like Rule 32. You know, like,
everything
can be problematic if you dig into it.
So the Kentucky Derby was not able to hold their official horse racing, so that's probably problematic. But
yeah, they abuse the horses, right?
I don't know. They probably treat them mostly good, but
there's like this underground thing where they put the horses down when they retire or something.
I don't think that's underground. I think they just do that.
Well, they like treat them like shit. Like they like either they just put them down or they just like they go to some place and they just like fuck around until they die and they're like malnourished and stuff.
Oh no. Well, what I was gonna say.
Let's take this. I'm digging down, and we need to climb up. We need to go up.
Let's get the ladder and
press up on the elevator.
Instead of holding the traditional Kentucky Derby, where you get all fancy, you get gussied up, you wear like a big lady hat.
We all wear lady hats.
We all wear lady hats. You get all dressed up, and you got to see the horse races. Well, they were not able to do that this year, obviously. Can't have crowds of people. So they had Kentucky Turtle Derby, where they had turtles competing. And I thought it would be fun for us both to name a turtle that we would like to have compete. I don't know if you've given this any thought. I have a great name. Okay. It's wonderful. But you should go first.
Okay.
What would your turtle be? So like, it's
one of those names. Like I made it up just now, and I'd like to look it up to see if it's an actual word because I would hate for it to be a real word. And then say it. So
that's the thing. So Kentucky Derby horses, they're always named like just I don't know where that naming convention comes from, but they always
sound like boats. They sound like boat names.
Sure. It's like Good Night Saturday and Silver Candlestick. Like they're just like these strange like
that's what you come up with.
I don't know. Fly. That's not my turtle name. I'm just testing out my turtle names.
Like, you're naming things that are around you. There's like a silver
lamp. But no, so they're always just like, I wonder where that comes from. Actually, maybe we should look up where that naming convention comes from. But
I like how you said we, but we both know. How inclusive.
Oh, I love that for you. I love that you love to do that.
Do you also have a gay slave?
Kentucky Derby horse.
Well, go ahead and
name.
I'll say mine. I haven't looked it up, so I don't know if it's a real word. So I
So you
apologize
do-
if it is, and
okay.
it's like a problematic
So
thing.
you're going
But
like
I'm
an
gonna-
unconventional route.
Yeah, I'm
If
gonna
this
say
was
Turdy.
Project, go ahead. Go ahead.
Its name is Turdy.
Turdy.
Yeah, Turdie. Turdy. Like a turtle.
Okay.
It's like his name's Turdy. It's like Birdie, but
So like
you know.
turd.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Turdy.
Okay.
Look at like a little turdy.
Okay. Are you ready for mine before I look up why Kentucky Derby horses are named what they're named? Or racehorses are
Let's
named?
see if it beats.
Okay,
mine
his name is blows yours out of the water, and I don't think you are in a space.
Well, they're not sea turtles, so they're on. They should just blow them away.
I don't think you're in a place where you can be the bigger man and accept that mine is better, no matter what I say. Even though it is much better.
Silver candlestick.
My turtle name would be Hair Racer. So
Hellraiser.
It's a double entendre.
But hair like the tortoise and the hare, yeah.
Hair, tortoise and the hare, Hellraiser.
Yeah.
And then it's literally a racer.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Yeah. I don't. I think it's yeah. I appreciate the thought. You know.
I like that you like that.
I like that. My favorite thing about that name is
that you like it.
Is that you like it. I'll put that on one of my mini fridges for you, but not the main one. I thought you were about to. His name is Leather Office Chair. That's my
leather office. I should have done that. That would have been a funnier joke. But I had thought of that. Like Hair Racer was the first thing that came to my mind, and I was like, oh, that'd be so good.
That's the first. Wow. Fucking firing on all four cylinders.
First
today.
Thought, best thought. Do. The rules for naming a racehorse. I guess I should start it earlier in the article.
Is there a racehorse name generator I can find right now?
Can we find we could find our racehorse sonas. Every thoroughbred racehorse. This is from the Washington Post, so clearly very, very I have to read. Every thoroughbred racehorse, no matter its actual birth date, becomes a 2-year-old on the 2nd January 1st of its life. And as 2-year-olds, racehorses need names. Before that age, trainers and grooms usually give them the horses nicknames or refer to them by their mother's name and the year they were born. Oh, wow. That's cool. American Pharaoh, for example, was once Little Princess Emma 2012. It sounds like Chris Hansen sat someone down. I have your chat log with Little Princess Emma 2012. To choose his permanent name, the Zayat family convened in January 2014 around good food and called out their best suggestions for the nearly 50 new horses. Oh, that's way lamer than I thought. The rules for naming a racehorse are as Byzantine as the horse's job is simple. You may not. Oh, so there's rules against things you can't do. Name a horse using initials or numbers. End a name with filly, colt, stud, mare, stallion, or any other horse-related term. Name a horse after a living person without written permission. Use the name of a deceased person unless approved by the Jockey Club, one of America's horse racing governing bodies. Use the name of a track or stakes race. Use names with clear commercial or artistic value. Use names that are obscene, vulgar, or in poor taste. Or use names identical or nearly identical to horses within certain time frames, depending upon the original horse, what the original horse accomplished. After that, you get 18 characters, spaces, and punctuation count. Oh, man. I'm going to look up and see if Hair Racer is taken. I need to get this registered. I need to get
I just sent you a link to a horse name generator.
Oh, perfect.
I just filled out my test. And my racehorse name is Zany Abercrombie.
Oh, look at you. Where did you send
So-
it to me?
Discord.
Send it to me on Facebook. I can't open Discord. Oh, I can. Never mind.
Yeah, I
I
have it
lied.
open in like a separate.
Sure. The way I have my filming set up, I like can't close it on my computer.
Wow, you didn't do a pop-out window? Wow. Amateur.
Okay, I clicked the link. Which generation do you belong to? Let's see. A millennial.
Yeah, I cheated. Like the whole time you were reading that explanation, I was filling out that test super fast. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I apologize that I wasn't as engaged. I was very excited to find my horse Sona, which I now know.
What do you
Zany
currently
Abercrombie.
do in life? I think good question. I'm still trying to figure that out. What is your deepest desire? Ooh. Personal growth. What
Oh,
would you
wow.
say is your strongest
Surreal.
quality? This one could go a couple different ways. I think I want to say my life is a crazy explosion of shapes and colors, which is creativity. What role do you play in friendships? Oh, this is a good one.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like all of the above.
I'm such a good friend.
I'm such a good friend. I check all these boxes. I like to make my friends laugh. They always come to me for advice. I tend to be the peacemaker between friends. I offer support where I can. I am usually the one to help them fix things. I think for this, I'll say I offer support where I can.
Oh, you can put all of the above.
Oh, wait, you can?
Oh, no, I thought you were saying that you were thinking about it, and I thought I talked you out of it. No, okay, never mind.
No, you can only choose one answer.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
No.
like an answer, and you were like, and you were gonna pick it, but then I like made you
Oh,
second guess it by
no, I
making a joke
would've.
about it.
I would have, without hesitation, selected all of them. How often do you work out? Girl, getting out of bed is enough of a workout for me. That sounds good. Why did you take this test? My friends encouraged me to do so. Oh, that's not it. I thought it was going to be over. What do you dream about when you sleep? I don't know. I dream about
Yeah, that one of the answers is running away from the war.
running away from war.
My horse dreams of running away from the horse war.
Running away from the horse war. Do you have a bucket list? Jesus, this is a long. How did you take this when we were talking? When I was talking,
I just like quickly. Like, I mean,
Did
I
you
read
read
everything,
anything?
but I would.
Okay.
I read it, but I was just like, you know.
I'm trying to like make it a little entertaining as I do it.
Yeah, I'm Zany Abercrombie. That's me.
Oh wait,
That's my
okay.
name.
You pick one of the ones below.
Then you type in your name.
Oh, then
at
you
the
type in
end.
your name. Okay, I was like, what?
Yeah, I didn't even click that one above where you type your name.
Oh, it
Didn't
said
even touch that.
mine said pick one of the below. You are, and the only option I have is fast racehorse.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Okay.
So,
I'm also Zany Abercrombie. No, I'm just kidding. I am.
so I was about to be very disappointed.
Mine's pretty good. You ready?
Yeah.
European nuisance. Oh, nuance. I'm an idiot. Nuance.
Nuisance.
I thought it said
that's
nuisance.
Nope, you're European nuisance.
I'm just such a nuisance, man. Oh, it's interesting. Our racehorse sonas.
Speaking of Joss Whedon.
Do you know, like, we were talking about the Met Gala earlier. People do Met Gala or Met sonas where they like do an art thing of themselves, like in the themed outfit.
Sure.
Very interesting. That's one
Cool.
of my favorite parts of the Met Gala. We'll have to start the Derbisona, where you draw yourself as a horse.
Yeah, I need to learn how to draw horses. Or actually, no, I think it'd be funnier if I just continued to not know how to draw horses and I just drew one anyways.
Yeah, without even referencing a horse. You just draw what you think a horse looks like.
This is what I think it looks like. I haven't I haven't seen a horse before. I've seen a seahorse. Is it of any resemblance?
Exactly the same.
Yeah. I know that the seahorse in the races in the movie Shark Tale was named Lucky Day.
Hmm.
I remember that
What
movie.
was that movie Christina Aguilera was in? That was a fish movie.
That's the one I'm talking about, Shark Tale.
Oh, okay. There was another one. Is that the one with Renee Zellweger too?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Jack Black is a shark and he's a vegetarian, but the whole thing is like it's symbolism for someone like coming out of a sexual closet, but instead it's a diet closet, I guess. Like it's definitely like a big reference to that shark being gay.
This is
You're
the kind of gay representation we have.
Yeah, you're making me feel really weird for. It's not just that is a widely believed thing, and I'm pretty sure it was not admitted. Like I'm accusing but the director did, I think, confirm it. But
no,
yeah,
I fully believe you.
It is a strange fucking movie, to watch as a child. But it's a even weirder
was that the movie that
now.
sexually awakened you for the like fish boobs and stuff?
Actually, now that we're talking about this, so Disney announced that. I mean, it's like they don't even need to announce it anymore. It's just like expected. But Disney announced that they're making a live action version of their animated Hercules movie. And when they did that, it reminded me of like the original animated movie. And one of my very first cartoon crushes was like the lead of the singers. I forgot what they were called.
Interesting.
In Greek plays, like they narrate
the Muses.
The Muses. Yes, the lead one was like one of my very first cartoon
like
crushes.
Tall, slender one.
Wow. Yeah.
The skinny one, not the fat one, right?
My fucking god. But yeah, it was one of my very first cartoon crushes, and I never really dug into that part of my life. I haven't like in a while. So when they announced that, I started listening to the music again and stuff, and then that like it all came back, and I was like, the one that got away. the muse from Hercules, my long lost love.
Dead.
Yeah, dead.
Dead.
It's dead now. I have to build a time machine and go back to ancient Greece.
I know there have been moments where I've been watching like a cartoon or something, like, man, like this is like that man is so attractive, but I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, we'll have to. That sounds like a good like top
homoerotic movies.
Cartoon crushes, I think, is a more innocent way of throwing it out as opposed to.
I'm gonna Google homoerotic cartoons and see if there's any.
You might want to open up an incognito tab.
See if there's any.
Delete that search history.
Yeah. Okay. It's all porn. Never mind.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't believe that you weren't expecting that.
Oh, what's his name? In Batman Forever with the nipples.
Robin?
Yes. That was definitely one of those moments where I was like, oh wow. Beautiful man. Big pecs, big nipples.
Okay. I was expecting something in the animated space, but
well, I was trying to think of one, but I couldn't think of one. Fair. Yeah.
It just think does that Jimmy Neutron thing where it zooms into the brain and it shows like the scene from Batman and Robin with the bat nipple brain one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to get back to me on that one.
Can't think of anything else. Yeah.
Yeah, I think of like the Muse from Hercules, Shigo from Kim Possible, Raven from Teen Titans. That's those are like pretty mainstream ones that yeah.
I know Brock from Venture Brothers. That was one I was like, oh.
Venture Brothers always seemed like I didn't watch Adult Swim like as a kid, so I always knew of Venture Brothers, but I've never like watched it. But it seemed like something I would enjoy. I might try
It's
to.
interesting. I'd recommend it. It's one of
Did the
those like
show finish?
I don't know. I never finished it, so I don't know. But it was always entertaining. I mean, I watched Adult Swim is one of the things I have spent most of my how do I phrase this? I've seen a lot of Adult Swim content over not recently, probably not within the last like couple of years because I don't really watch cable anymore. But when I was growing up, that was like the most formative. Like when people talk about Nickelodeon and Disney and stuff,
Yeah.
I watched a lot of those things, but Cartoon Network and Adult Swim is like where I like always wanted to watch. I was like, I love this. It's so funny. Robot Chicken was, I loved it when I was a kid. I remember like we would go, my parents were divorced. So we would go to my dad's house. We go to my dad's house like every other weekend. And my parents have been divorced a lot longer than you, Andy. No, so we'd go to my dad's house, and that was like, oh, there's no rules. We can watch whatever. Like, we can watch Adult Swim here because we couldn't really do it in
Dad
my.
lets me watch Adult Swim.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
nice. Cool. Yeah, Adult
Cool.
Swim is one of those companies that like I would love to work for them. Adult Swim is like the content they put out and marketing and the indie games that they produce and the shows that come out of them specifically.
Yeah,
Their social media, like everything that comes out of Adult Swim is always like right up my alley. Like
yeah.
that is like their humor matches mine and they're great.
There's some like slight overlap for me. There are moments where I love it and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I'm really enjoying this. And then there are moments where the anti-humor, which like I know, like I can see why you like a lot of those things, but there's moments where it's like,
Yeah.
this is just not, it's not doing it for me. It's like I know people are really like Tim and Eric and like
Yeah.
I don't dislike them, but that show doesn't really do anything for me. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Sure.
there's a lot of people that I think are really funny that like idolize that show, which is interesting to me. Like a lot of the people that I think are like hilarious comedians have actively said that they like enjoy that kind of content. But for me, it's just, it's hard for me to, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now.
Yeah, that seems to be like as far as their like the live action things, they really lean in heavily on like that group.
Yeah.
But not only that, just like their imagery, like their like the quick little like asides that they
Oh, I
the
love
title cards
yeah.
between those. It's like are always really artistic and kind of they have like a very specific style that they have. And the whole like the Wendy's Twitter is so sassy and all that other stuff. Like Adult Swim has been doing that way before any of that took off. So it gets like a free pass. So when it does it, I'm just like, oh, it's like an old friend, you know, talking, you know, it's like, it doesn't feel like they're trying to relate to me. They've been doing their own thing for so long.
Yeah. They're not, they didn't jump on the trend because it was trendy. Like they have always been doing that. So yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how I feel like when I am into something, it's like, even if it becomes popular, if I found out about it before I was being like barraged from all sides with it, then I'm like, oh, I'm more forgiving and like I still might like it. But if I don't know about something and then I am just culturally surrounded by the thing and like everyone's like, oh, it's so good, you have to watch it, it's so good. I'm like, no, I have negative interest now in viewing this or watching this or whatever.
But yeah, I love Adult Swim stuff. Just like even like and I'll stop fanboying over Adult Swim in a second. But Just like the idea of like Toonami in general, of just like, yeah, let's put this like space guy in a spaceship who like narrates some overarching narrative where he's like trapped or something and he's just watching anime in space. Like, what the fuck was that?
Well, that
And
used
there
to
was
be
like,
when I was like a lot younger. That used to be like on in the daytime. Toonami was like
yeah,
in the middle of the day. Like I would get home from school and like Toonami would be on, and I'd watch Tenchi Muyo with my mom. Like it was very
that's
interesting.
just like, it's just so that it very much reminds me of things that like whenever we're working on like desk pop promo stuff, the things that like, because you used to I don't know if you're like still wanting to do it or whatever, but you had like this very specific vision on like a video format of our episodes being like this 90s maze first person thing or whatever, and like ideas like that remind me of like that diverse mentality of Adult Swim.
Sure.
Like
It's like
asides.
there's a randomness to it, but there's also like a thought placed in it. Like
It's like a calculated thing. Like it fits, but it's also diverse enough to where it's like,
it's not
yeah,
necessarily what you would expect exactly.
yeah. It's really hard to. It's like a Wes Anderson movie. You know it when you see it. Like you know it's from Adult Swim when you see it. But anyways, I love them. I love their content. They're great.
Hey, Adult Swim, you should
Hey, please fucking hire me.
hire us or
If you had to pick
sponsor
between me and
us.
Brian, pick me. But if you have multiple slots, pick both of us because then we
Well,
could just.
if you need mystery, pick Andy, and if you need friendship, I'm your man.
I think that's fair. I think yeah. It's like, oh, like friendship, we know what we're getting, but mystery, like,
It's a wild
I don't
card.
know, like, like,
if you need the
know?
crest of reliability from Digimon, yeah, I'm your man. Friendship and reliability.
Because like the mystery, if we pick Andy, could be friendship. That could be the mystery. So,
Are you willing to roll those die?
And I think on that note, we'll leave you with that. We'll leave you with that lasting question: mystery or friendship? Let us know.
Let us know in the comments below. Which one do you want more or like more?
What do you want more in your life, friendship or mystery?
Do you want more mystery in your life?
Farmersonly.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. This has been Desk Pop.
It has been.
It has been. I think we jumped into some different. We veered into some different off ramps of conversation.
Yeah.
We hope that you stayed in the back and time to pay that cab fare.
Oh, you're a cab. Oh no.
The destination. If you have any ideas of topics that we should discuss, or if you have any just general thoughts, you can message us on social media at deskpopcast, or you can send us an email at deskpopcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, and please, if you enjoyed what you watched or listened to, subscribe to us on either YouTube or your podcast provider.
And for plugs, we're going to be checking out a really neat indie game called Later Alligator. So stay tuned for that. That will be posted on Thursday. So keep an eye out for that. We're both looking forward to checking that out. I am. I'm speaking for both of us.
I was like,
now that
I am.
now that we're friends, I can.
Now that we're friends, I speak for you.
Yeah. So I'm speaking at you, not with you.
Is this how the trees felt when the Lorax was speaking for them?
Yeah, that's a little problematic. The trees can speak for themselves. All right, the Lorax needs to shut the fuck up. Obviously, the Lorax isn't speaking for himself because he's the last one.
All right. Goodbye.
All right, bye.